Good morning, boys and girls. How's everybody this morning? I'm still didn't turn my notifications off. Oh, Mrs. Goodman. All right, there we go. How is everybody this morning? I hope you are all well. Those of you who had math this morning, I hope you are feeling invigorated, right? Invigorated, right? Like you're ready to roll. Nearpod will not let you go on. Okay, so that's interesting. So what we're doing today is, and I'll get right back to you, Carmen. We are going to do 2 Nearpods, and the first one, which you can see up on the screen here, is a video Nearpod, and this has come from PBS Learning Media, and it is about the Chronicles of Narnia. And for those of you who are looking, you can see that I have this teacher mode here, and that there's going to be some questions that we're going to answer. And it looks like I've got 20 of you in there. So just to be clear, the code is 8XMHYO, and I apologize if I didn't put that clearly someplace. And it should let you in. So I'm expecting you guys to be here first. Good morning, friends. And we're going to watch this video together. Like I said, it's from PBS Learning Media. But our goal here is we're doing a test for Nearpod. We are like the first people to be using this new interactive mode that they haven't even let all of the pioneers use yet. There's just a small group of teachers that get to test it first, and which means you guys are like the very first students in the country to be testing this feature. So that's really awesome, isn't it? So basically it's going to play, then it's going to stop, and it's going to ask you some questions. Now I put the questions in here, and they're just about word connotation. And that's basically what our lesson is about today. Just talking about words and stories and how they make you feel, right? And we've done this a little bit before. We did our word scales and thinking about if the word is positive or negative and what it brings to the story. So I thought it would be fun if we started that with a video. And so we're going to begin. And Carmen, I hope that you are in, but if you are not, you can watch on my screen. And I'm going to plop this one over to student view. And hopefully it looks the same. I think it's going to. But again, it's new, so we are trying it out together. And then I'm going to send you guys later on today a little questionnaire just to see how you liked it. Okay? Oh, eyes up front. So I'm going to put it back into teacher mode so that you can see it. See? We're learning something new as we go along. So we're going to go ahead and hit play.
J.R.R. Tolkien's friend and contemporary C.S. Lewis wrote his own response to war, The Chronicles of Narnia. And this classic saga is also getting your votes for America's best-loved novel.
All right. So first question up is, what is a saga? And why is that a better choice than the word story? So I'm just going to tell you guys that a saga is like a very long story, right? If you said, oh, I have the saga to tell you, right? You're thinking, oh, it's very long and drawn out. Yes. So you should be watching on my screen then, and then stopping to answer these questions with me. Thank you, Shani. All right. So I just want you to type in, a saga is like a long story. And why do we think that the narrator or writer of this video piece actually chose the word saga? And how is that better than the word story, right? So your answers are going to come up here, but I have gone ahead and hidden your names so we don't know who's giving what answer, right? A long series of events and stories, a long heroic story, a collection of things like books or series. All right, and this person said it's a better choice in a story because it can have multiple books or movies to get the reader to want to read more. Are you in my which thing?
Nearpod.
Let's see. Olivier wants to know if he is in my Nearpod. Let's see. Are you OI? Or are you Olivier? You are Olivier. So yes, you are there. Look at all my happy friends this morning. Everybody's here, signed in, sunglasses. I wish it were a more sunny day, right? Okay, and I would be Amy because I signed in yesterday to look at the student view. All right, so go ahead and submit your answers, right? And because it gives more details, okay? It's a long story because possibly means short when saga means long, okay? It's okay, Abby. That's fine. And the other question I had about this was, does it let you edit your answers after you've submitted something? So if it doesn't, that's a good thing to let us know. And that's probably going to be one of the questions. Like, is there something that you wish that you had in this feature? And the ability to edit your questions would definitely be one of those things, wouldn't it? All right, friends, so we're going to move on. And if you haven't hit submit, do so now. I'm actually going to switch to student view on my other computer so I see what you guys are seeing. It's best to have more than one device when doing live lessons. I have one window over here with my YouTube. I have another window over here with Nearpod, which is what you guys see. I have OBS, which is doing all the streaming, and it's minimized in the background. And then I have another whole computer over here so that I can control the Nearpod as well. All right, so my sweet friends, see, so that you don't see my whole computer screen going crazy. All right, so we are going to move on, and I'm going to do that here. I'm going to hit play.
C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were both Oxford Dons.
Okay, now that was a super short one, but I'm going to repeat it for you. Excuse me. She said both J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were Oxford Dons. So what is a Don? Has anybody ever heard that word in maybe your foreign language classes or in terms of like a gentleman? And so we're wondering, what is a Don? And Oxford is the name of the college I went to. So how are we describing J.R.R. Tolkien, and C.S. Lewis? They're Oxford Dons. So they're actually, Don is like a gentleman or sir in like Spanish or Italian. So if you're thinking of them as gentlemen and Oxford is their college, right? They're not just, college boys. They're like the gentlemen of the college. So go ahead and write in something like that. A master of a house. Oh, good, Ashley. Yeah. So let's see. It doesn't let you edit. Thank you, Addison. After you hit submit twice, you can't edit. Excellent. Thank you very much, friends, for helping me with that. All right. So go ahead, and if you've not put your answer, go ahead and do that. Gentlemen or sir. Thank you, friends. And so when we're thinking about, them, and we're thinking about them as gentlemen, maybe they're a little bit older when they're at Oxford, right? Or maybe their demeanor is not that of the typical college kid that you think of now, running around the dorms and going to parties and, sleeping through class. No, I don't know any college kids that ever did that. But, and Mrs. Garino, she's got a daughter going to college next year, so she's hoping that her girls are not going to sleep through class. That they graduated from there and that they were maybe then even, they were gentlemen in their college. They weren't, party guys. They were really serious about their studies. It's really kind of what I was looking at that. Yeah. And that one's a little bit tough. It's not a word that you hear very often, but that's kind of what we're looking at today is words that we don't hear very often. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead. That was a tough one, and I am all set with going forward. So if you've not hit submit, go ahead and do so. And we're going to go ahead. Ready, and go.
They were drawn to these stories that a lot of people sort of relegated or looked down on as kid stories, fairy stories. They didn't think that they were children's stories at all, but that they were deeply mythic and in a way of giving people a sense of looking at good and evil.
All right. So the term I'm looking for here is relegated. It's okay, Adriana. Relegated, so she said something along the lines of that people relegated their stories as being children's stories. And maybe you've heard the term relegated in sports when we talk about, they were relegated to the B team or something like that. And people were looking down upon the literature that they were drawn to or drawn to writing, like the Lord of the Rings, and they call it fairy stories or children's stories. But the authors really thought pretty seriously about their work, that it wasn't just a book for kids, but it was also something that adults would enjoy and maybe be able to glean some meaning from. What you guys will find in studying literature as you move through middle school and high school is that, your books have a theme, and the author really wants you to get some sort of message from their story, right? We've talked about theme. And they are wanting you to take something away from their story. So it's not just entertainment, which is kind of what you think about stories being, but it is, something that you are learning from and not just being entertained by, but really getting involved in it and thinking about. And while you guys are putting in your answers, I can tell you that was one of the things I really didn't like about high school literature classes, because I just wanted to read my books, right? I read voraciously, like I read all the time. And, we'd get assigned this book and you could only read so many pages, and then we'd have to go into class and discuss them. Now, I don't mind discussing literature now, but I can tell you that as a high school student, I just wanted to read my books and be entertained. But one of the things that I did learn through these classes is that the author is bringing much more than just entertainment to you. They're bringing you a message and a theme and something that they want you to take away from their writing. So we're going to move on. That one was a little bit difficult, but relegated really just means they looked down on it. These other people were looking down on their work and saying, oh, no, those are just kids' stories. It's not serious writing. But when you're relegated in sports, you are sent down, right? So it's really just to kind of put things down. All right, friends, we're going to go ahead and move along. So again, it is okay if you haven't hit submit, but I would like as much participation as possible on this one. All right, yep. So I'm just kind of looking at your answers. Yeah. Very good. For example, people think that the Saga of Narnia and think of it as childish, when really it's this great story about World War II and how these children were sent off to the country and how they coped with that, right? All right. Let's see. So we're going to go ahead. Yay, I've got 71%. So that is okay with me. And as I know that you guys are just a minute or so behind me, so that's okay. And here we go.
The Chronicles of Narnia series is comprised of 7 books, which were published over 6 years beginning in 1950. It follows a group of children who are evacuated to the English countryside during World War II. The books tell of their adventures in the imaginary kingdom of Narnia, guided by a talking lion named Aslan, as they fight the White Witch and restore the throne to its rightful line.
Okay, this is a quick one. How many Chronicles of Narnia books have you read? So this should only just take a second to answer. You can just write the number. You don't even have to spell out the word this morning. Just a curiosity. I threw that one in there for fun. So we're going to hear from Serena Williams, I think, or Venus, but I think it's Serena, telling about her experience reading the Narnia books. And these videos are from the Great American Read, which took place, I think, 2 summers ago. Maybe, 2, I think. so it was a big PBS special, and people sent in like what were their favorite books of all times, and people reread books that they hadn't read since elementary school or high school. Oh no, it's some zeros, really, guys? So many zeros. Oh, somebody's watched all the movies too. Okay. Oh, I have to tell you that the Chronicles of Narnia, at least especially The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, was one of my favorite stories as a kid, and I think that I read it. I think that I read it in the 4th grade, but it could have been the 6th grade. Sometimes I mix these years up. I'm pretty sure it wasn't 5th grade, but I did have the series. I know in 4th grade I read all the Judy Blume books, and then I read some other really cool books as well. I did also read, what's Oscar reading in class right now?
I have no clue.
Wrinkle in Time. Wrinkle in Time, that's right. I read A Wrinkle in Time in the 4th grade as well. All right. So let's see. But again, these books are great for no matter how old you are. And if you haven't at least read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I highly recommend it. All right, so let's move on.
Narnia was this place where, I could go on this great adventure. I could never go to this place, Narnia. I could never talk to a lion. But in this book, I could do all that. It seemed quite possible at the time that I was reading it. I think my favorite scene is in the first book, The Magician's Nephew, and they meet this evil queen and her world's dying, so she decides she's going to take over this other world. And you could feel the fear from the children, like, oh my gosh, we have to stop this evil lady. I felt very connected to that, because also it was the catalyst of everything that was going to happen in these next 7 books.
Okay. A catalyst. So that was the word she just said. A catalyst triggers an action or change. What other words would you have used? So she said that was the catalyst for the other 7 books, I think, is exactly what she said. But I'm going to rewind that. I don't know if I can. Let's try it. We're going to try it.
In a way of giving people a sense of looking at good and evil.
Nope, I went too far. Sorry, friends. Was it here?
By a talking lion named Aslan, as they...
Oh, I went back way far. Okay.
They meet this evil queen and her world's dying, so she decides she's going to take over this other world. And you could feel the fear from the children, like, oh my gosh, we have to stop this evil lady. I felt very connected to that, because also it was the catalyst of everything that was going to happen in these next 7 books.
Okay, so she's saying that action in The Magician's Nephew was the catalyst for what was going to happen in the other 7 books. So a different word than you would have used than catalyst. And what you might not know is that The Magician's Nephew is the first in chronological order, but it wasn't the first book published. The first book published was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But then sometimes authors, if they're writing a series of books, sometimes they think, you know what, I need to go back and tell the story before. Kind of like Star Wars, right, with the prequels. So that is probably, and I don't know for sure, but probably why C.S. Lewis chose to go back. And I know that seemed a little glitchy for you guys. So, yeah, it does mean as a cause. Is there another word that you would have used rather than catalyst? Maybe cause. It caused the rest of the storyline. Let's see. Drama. Excitement or difference in the story. Okay. An evil action. Ooh, so it's the action that kind of gets it started. All right. Cause. Action. Vicious. Stimulant. Ooh, good word. All right, my friends. Oh, Tyler. Tyler, you're having a rough morning, bud. You don't like to read? You don't like Star Wars? Ah! All right, but William and Tyler, this is not a place for you to have this conversation, right? We are staying on task. Thank you, friends. James, don't get involved. I see you people in the chat. Let's not do that. All right, so we're going to move on. I have a lot of answers here. Let's see. Oh, 47. So maybe I'll give you just a second to go ahead and hit submit. And then let's see. So where are we? We just heard Venus Williams, and then I think she's going to tell us a little bit more. And we have one more stop in our video. You guys are doing a great job so far. After this video, we're going to flip over to a different Nearpod because I couldn't combine them, unfortunately. And we're going to read a few pages from the Willoughbys and talk about some of the words there. All right, my friends. I'm going to go ahead and, where are we? 56. Go ahead and hit play.
Go then, fools, called the witch. Think of me, boy, when you lie old and weak and dying, and remember how you threw away the chance of endless youth. It won't be offered you again.
I think what's great about Chronicles of Narnia is it taps so many different mythologies. It's Christian, it's pagan, it's thinking about the Greeks, but it's also thinking about sort of contemporary life.
What I understand about C.S. Lewis is he was a late-in-life Christian. He takes Christian ideas and themes and packages them in a way that is very inclusive to people.
Okay, so what she said is he takes Christian themes and packages them in a way that is very inclusive to people. In this context, what does packages mean? So I want you to think about, he took the themes and takes the themes and packages them in a way that's very inclusive to people. So what does packages mean in this context? So does it mean he's sending us all a package? Uh-oh. My trusty sidekick is not paying attention to me this morning. Or does he maybe include everyone? Mm-hmm. But let's look at the word packages, right? So you might say he wraps it up, right? He gives it to people, right? He distributes it in a way. What other words can we use here for packages? Includes everyone. Let's see, what else do we have here, friends? Puts them in small tastes of wording, spreads the word, puts them there and gives them to the people. Who makes it presentable. Very good. He makes it presentable. Let's see. Informs the people, that's inclusive to everyone. Suitable for everyone, so it's not exactly how it is in real life. Excellent answers, friends. Well done. It's a story that's not offensive and includes everyone, right? So he makes it, some might say, like, palatable. It's easy to take in. It's tasty, almost. And that's just using another really good metaphor, right? Sometimes we use metaphors in our writing to make it more interesting. All right, so we just have a few more seconds left on this video, and then we're going to flip over to the other code. And so I'm going to put the other code in the chat so that when you're done with the video, you can go ahead and flip over. So look, I wrote good morning everyone hours ago and didn't even put it. So I think that you guys, let's see, where are we here? We're at 59%, so I'm going to just give you another moment. So after this video, new code is UWEOC. And enter. All right. And as you guys know, you have like a little exit door that you can go out in Nearpod to get into another one. So let's finish off this video.
Hi, it's Venus Williams, and I've read The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, and it's one of my favorite books because of the adventures that you go on, and also because it doesn't end with one story. There's 7 stories, and you can go right on that adventure with everyone in this book.
All right, so that's the end of this video. So you should be flipping over to UWEOC, and I'm going to leave that one there just for those people who would like it. So the new Nearpod is this one, and sorry, It is UWEOC. And this is a ThingLink, which I know you guys have seen before because I've done some 360 videos with ThingLinks on them. But if you're just clicking around while we're waiting, this one is from the movie. It's the dialogue of Lucy meeting Mr. Tumnus, right? And this one here actually takes you to, I think, a timeline. There it is. It's from the Chronicles of Narnia website, but it shows you kind of the history of Narnia. So C.S. Lewis was born in 1898, if you can imagine such a thing. And this book that we are still talking about here in 2020 was completed in 1949. So this book is over 70 years old, but people are still reading it and people still love it. And we're still reading or watching movies about it. So isn't that incredible? Yes, Colton, there's a time to climb. And then the last item over here, I think, is a podcast. It is. So it's a podcast of the girl who plays Lucy talking to some friends, to these podcasters a few years later. So I'm going to send out after, and Adriana, I apologize, I didn't send a self-paced code on Tuesday. So I will do that. I'm going to write myself a note of self-paced codes. Or student paced. I will put those out after this, along with the questionnaire. All right, and so everybody should be here now. And I'm going to put mine in student mode, student view. And we're going to skip ahead a couple of pages because you may have seen there's 16 pages in here, but because Mrs. Rahim doesn't have that video thing that I have, I had to make some pages for her group. So we're going to flip right over here, and you didn't even know we skipped like 10 slides. We are talking today, right, about the denotation of a word, which is its dictionary definition, and its connotation, what it means associated with your emotions, like how do you feel about it, right? So we just looked at some words in our movie, and we're going to look at some words from the, and we're going to do probably 2 or 3, looking at time, because I'm going to finish this off right at 10 o'clock today, because we have some workers coming to the house who are going to make loud noises, and cut up our countertops. So, what we're looking at today is this. We are going to do a dry, and you're going to have 3 minutes. So don't freak out. I'm actually going to read you the page before I hit go on this. So this is what we're going to do. Sorry, I didn't know that it was going to look like that. I've never used the timer before. So you're going to have 3 minutes. And we're reading this chapter 4 from the Willoughbys. It's called An Impending Vacation. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose just one word from this page. Okay? Just one word. And you're going to highlight it. And you're going to say what its meaning is. And I want you to choose interesting words. I don't want you to choose decided, because you guys all know what decided means. I want you to choose another word, and one that you can define whether it has a positive connotation, like it makes you feel good about the word, a negative connotation, like yeah, it kind of gives you a yucky feeling, or maybe it's neutral, and you can say neutral, but just what that word brings to the story. So before I hit play on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and read you this page. Dear ones, Mrs. Willoughby said at the dinner table as she sliced the overcooked leg of lamb with a small hand saw. Father and I have decided to take a vacation. A sea voyage? Asked Tim as he spooned some glutinous gravy onto the gray slab of meat she had given him. Why, yes, his mother replied. As a matter of fact, we are taking a long sea voyage with many interesting stops along the way. This very colorful brochure appeared through the mail slot from the, let's see, what was that name again? She picked up the glossy paper and looked at it. All right. So I'm going to hit start activities. So you should get this. 3, 2, 1. Oh, some of you said you already got it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, like I said, we're only going to spend 3 minutes on this. And the reason we're only spending 3 minutes is so that we can keep track of our time and move along. But you guys were able to hit start activity on your own. Is that the case, or you had to wait for me? That's interesting. It's interesting. We'll see how this one goes too. I like trying new things with you guys, and I appreciate your flexibility when I do that. So if I were doing this, gosh, there are so many words that I love on this page, but I think that I would choose voyage. Oh no, I lied. I would choose glutinous, right? And I know that glutinous is like really kind of fatty, and like when you're gluttonous, right? You take a lot of something. It's like it's probably really gloopy and big, right? Because it's like taking more than you need. So I might say, oh, more than needed, maybe fatty. Like I said, your dictionary definition doesn't have to be super exact. Right? So more than needed, maybe fatty. And is that positive or negative? I feel like it's kind of negative, right? It's like, makes it feel gloopy. So I'm going to say negative. Gives me a negative feeling that it's not good for him. All right. And that's exactly what I want you to do on this page. Something like that. Okay? And see, I did that in 2 minutes, and I still have another minute left. So if you've not done so already, this really kind of forces you guys to go ahead and get things done and not take too much time with them. I see somebody forgot their name today or typed it incorrectly. All right, so this is looking good because now you guys are almost all submitted because your time is almost up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading the next page, and then I'll flip. So the reprehensible travel agency, suggested Tim. That's it, exactly. His mother beamed at him. You're so clever, son. I hope your cleverness will win you a scholarship so that you can go to college. What about Bea and me? Barnaby A asked. We're not clever. And Jane? She's a complete dodo, Barnaby B added. Does that mean we won't be able to go to college? Their father glared at him. You can read, can't you? He asked. Yes, of course we can read, the twins replied. Even I can read, Jane said, and I'm a complete dodo. Well then, you should feel very fortunate. There are many less fortunate people in the world. I have heard of people in underdeveloped countries who do not know how to read. Here, he said, and he took the brochure from his wife and handed it to Barnaby B. This is a test. Read this, or you'll have no dessert. Barnaby B looked with interest at the first glossy page of the brochure. Visit exotic locations, he read aloud. Now your brother, said Mrs. Willoughby, and grabbed the brochure. So let's see. Oh, I don't have a timer. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, Sierra, are you on the wrong... Did you flip over to the other Nearpod? It shouldn't say eyes up front. Let me see. Are you in here? So, Sierra, it doesn't look like you're in UWEOC. So if it says eyes up front, you want to have changed Nearpods. UWEOC. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. You know why? Because... All right. Stop the presses. I mixed up the pages. Here's the page. I know, don't freak out. I'm sorry. Here's the page that I just read. I think I mixed them up. So, let's go to this one. Oh dear, and there's the dog barking. Can you hear her? Olivia, can you go shut this door, please? So, we'll do this page, and then we are going to flip over to the Time to Climb. Hey, Rowan, no big deal. We're actually going to continue with this story next week. And like I said, I'll throw the self-paced out after this. If you want to read the rest of this chapter. It is only one more page after the one that we didn't read. You know what? While you're doing this page, I will read the next page. All right, so grab the brochure. He handed it to Barnaby A., who read aloud. Erupting volcanoes, ferocious wild animals, floods, famine, and finally the girl, Mr. Willoughby, grabbed the brochure again and handed it to Jane. She sounded out the words very carefully. Earthquakes, civil strife, war zones. Good. You can all read. Dessert for everyone and no college. You don't need college. Mr. Willoughby put his fork down. Dearest, he looked inquiringly at his wife. Shall we tell them about our plans? Please do, she said. We've decided, as a result of this glossy brochure from the reprehensible travel agency, to take a vacation, Mr. Willoughby announced. Yes, you said that already, Jane pointed out. Don't interrupt. Therefore, he continued, since it is against the law for us to leave you alone. It is? Barnaby A. asked with interest. We don't mind staying alone, Tim said. We prefer it, actually. Mr. Willoughby glared at the children. May I continue? He asked pointedly. The children nodded politely. Sorry, they all murmured, and Tim, feeling thwarted, kicked the cat under the table. Therefore, his father continued, we have decided to hire a nanny. So, yes, Carmen, there is a movie based on this, right? You've told me that, or somebody has told me that. So that was chapter 4. And we are going to next week read all about the odious nanny in chapter 5. And that is actually our plan for next week. So you have about 20 more seconds on this page. And then we will go ahead and flip to Time to Climb. And Oscar's going to come in and join us. You can come in, Oscar, but you have to shut the door.
Okay.
Then you have to shut the door. And so we can do our Time to Climb. All right, friends. So you should have submitted because your time is up. So most of you have submitted. I'm going to give you just another second so then we can flip over to Time to Climb. And Oscar, I'm not done with my lesson, so I cannot discuss that with you presently. All right. Okay, is everybody with me? Are you ready? Say you're ready for Time to Climb. We're ready, Mrs. Petrowski. Okay. Here we go. Time to climb. Okay, so we'll space today. And continue. I know. This is the whole reason you guys come to live lesson, I know, for Time to Climb. I got your number. It's okay. And hopefully there's not a whole lot of noise at our house because now the countertops are being cut and it is 9:59. Just on time. Oh, were you, Adriana? Look at you. All right, I'm going to be... Ooh, the frog.
Can I go watch them?
You don't want to do Time to Climb? Go ahead. right. Oh, I don't know where our sound went, but let's go ahead and hit start. We got 26 out of 32 of you in. Can you shut the door? There we go. All right. Olivier's not going to play with us today. It's very sad. He's going to go watch the gentleman cut the countertop. But that's okay. So this is going to be transitions like we did on Monday, and it looks like you guys are just about here. So I'm going to give you just another second. And all right, we're going to go with it. Here we go. All right, select the correct transition word/phrase for this sentence. Blank her father. Andrea enjoys spending time at the animal shelter after school. And the correct answer is like. Yay! Can I get to the top of the mountain? I will never be at the top of the mountain. You guys are always ahead of me. All right, here we go. We got Rowan, Abby, and Olivia Perry. All right, select the correct transition word phrase for this sentence. James was at work all day. Blank, he decided not to come with us. That is why, for instance, after, another reason. Go with that is why. That is why he decided not to come with us. Another reason sounds good, but you would need another word in there. Like, that is another reason, right? All right, friends, we're all climbing up the mountain. Ooh, who's this way up here? Oh, my gosh. All right. I bet it's Olivia Perry. Wow, and Rowan and Gabby Doffin right behind her. All right. I have a few errands to do today. Blank, paying bills and taking my dog for a walk. But, in fact, furthermore, such as taking my dog for a walk and paying bills. All right. Colton, you're in 4th. Gabby Diaz, 5th. Addison, 6th. Abby, 7th. Abby, what are you doing way down there? You're usually on the podium. I hope you work your way back up. Ooh, now we've got Rowan, Olivia Perry, and Angel in 3rd. Colton's still sticking in there at 4th. All right. Select the correct transition. Okay, I did homework all evening. Blank, I am completely exhausted. For instance, while. In other words, though. I guess it's going to be in other words. In other words, I'm completely exhausted. Do we feel like that's the right answer? For instance, no. While. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't love that one, but that's okay. And last one. Sorry, friends, just 5 today. All right. Blank, I was on my way back home. I saw a deer cross the road right in front of me. To demonstrate, while, because, or in conclusion. While, showing time, sequence, right? All right, so we got Olivia, Colton, Angel, Charlotte, Kate, Abby, Gabby, Doffin right now. It only shows me top 7 on my thing until I scroll down. And then let's see, Addison, Rowan, and Sierra. So that rounds out the top 10 right now. And let's see. Let's see the finale. Who's excited? Yay, Olivia Perry! Followed by Angel and Colton. Rock on, friends. Kate McCauley, you were 4th. Charlotte, 5. Abby, 6. Gabby Doffin, 7. Addison, 8. Rowan, 9. And Gabby Diaz, 10. Woohoo! Look at you, Colton. You're the only boy in all of that. Awesome. Good job, you guys. All right. So we will see you back here on Tuesday. Make sure that your rough drafts are done. I will send you the self-paced codes for these and a questionnaire to answer about the video lesson. All right, my sweet friends. Have a fantastic day.
Bye.